Well, hello, each and every one of you out there. I thank you so much. Lakeisha McKnight is here, and I want to welcome you onto the Revitalize the Total Woman podcast. This podcast, if you're new to the podcast, it is a podcast that's the media outlet for the nonprofit where the headquarters is for a organization that houses this podcast show. And the nonprofit is called Women of Elevation Career Services International. Now, together, of course, with the podcast and the organization, we empower women with the tools to be able to create, relate, and elevate. Create in the sense of creating products and services, relating, improving your relationships, personal and professional, and then elevating is preparing you, of course, to move into and elevate into your destiny, moving with focus, with clarity into your destiny. And so this is what we assist women like yourself to be able to do, all for the purposes of living a satisfied lifestyle and enjoying your career. That's what we're helping you to be able to do. Women like yourself all around the world. And we do have women all around the world listening in. So I appreciate your listenership on behalf of the board of directors of the nonprofit organization. We appreciate you being connected to this organization in this way. Definitely visit the website www.womenofElevation.com to learn more about the nonprofit, about our projects, as well as about the podcast. We're going to be working on enhancing, updating the website on a weekly basis, specifically, of course, on the weekends. That way, during the week when people are the busiest and surfing the internet, you all will be able to check out some of the changes. So again, thank you. We're going to try to also incorporate our blog with the podcast show, so definitely stay tuned for that. That way, if there's any specials, anything that, you might have missed, you can definitely visit the blog. If you want to comment in more detail, you'll be able to comment on the blog. So definitely stay tuned. All right, so yesterday we started on a new series where we talked about how you can create meaningful and profitable Facebook groups. And we're going to continue with that tonight. So on tonight, I'm going to give you a bit more when it comes to specifics in creating your groups. So we talked about some general aspects when it comes to creating groups, but specifically, there are some things you need to do. Number one, of course, when you create your group, think about the title of your group. What's going to be the title that you create for your group? It has to be something that it's searchable, meaning that if people are online and they're searching for something, a popular search term or phrase, that way people will be able to find it online. Okay. Number two, make sure that you have a good description area or description in the description area. Make sure there's plenty of information there that gives people what they need to know to make an informed decision to request to join the group. Okay, so be sure about that. This is very important because I believe that it all is connected to whether people can find your group and whether they want to join. So if you can highlight some of the benefits in your description area, that will be great. And then also, don't forget those tags. Tags are a way in which, it helps some of these search engines list your group, of course, under Facebook, and it will make it searchable by way of the tags or the specific category that they would place your group in. So if it's leadership, if it's women's empowerment, there are certain tags that will be allowed there, so you can play around with them and see which ones Facebook would allow you to create. Okay, so be aware that there are some popular ones that you can use so that people can find your group. So that's important. Also, in the group settings area, make sure you decide on if you want, only admin to post to the wall in your group, or you want anyone can post, but it just needs admin approval. So you want to determine that. Also, I believe it gives you a way in which you can establish a branded back end of the group's URL or web address. Okay. So at the end of it, normally when you first create it, there are some numbers, but I think as you grow your group, you're allowed to adjust the name of the group, right? The URL, name for that group, and you can adjust it. So for example, with Women of Elevation, we have that, that's ours. That's what we're able to brand it as. So of course you can search for it on Facebook and put Women of Elevation in, and you'll be able to find our community group there. But we also have a branded back end of our web address URL connected to Facebook. So you want to take a look at that and really be sure of what you want to select, because I know Facebook has rules about whether you can change certain things more than one time. Then you want to also consider your email address for the group. Many people use it because you can definitely reach out to every member of your group simultaneously rather than trying to inbox each and every one of them. So that's also a way to reach out and send updates to your members in your group by using the email address that's designated and created for your group by Facebook. So take a look at that. You also have some input as to what you want that to be. So just consider that. I believe that that's very, very helpful when it comes to branding your group specifically on Facebook. And then, beyond that, there are some little things that you can do in the settings area. You can create, you can actually establish what type of group it is. Is it for a project? Is it for charity? Do you want to use a custom type? There are different things you can use. And then, of course, the icons, they allow you to use different icons to help to specify it. And it's for your organizational purposes only as the admin. And the wonderful thing with these groups is that you can select who in your group can be different admins. So you can have more than one admin. It doesn't have to just be yourself. There can be more than one person. Okay, so, you have all these things that you can do when it comes to the group. You can create your branded cover image for your group so that it's very unique. And I know with our nonprofit organization on Facebook, our group we change it out a lot because we have different events that we have that occurs throughout the year. So we sometimes change it. And so right now, of course, we have our cover image to reflect our live business seminar that we're having on April 29th here in Chesapeake, Virginia. Right. And so if you would love to learn more about that, definitely head on over to www.thecreateseminar.com. And I'll mention more about that towards the end of this episode. But yes, you can have a branded cover image for the group. I believe that this is really important as well because it just reflects that your group is official and very important. So you have all these things there when you're making different posts in your group, depending on the type of group that you select. When you select your type, you have different benefits that are available to you. So, for example, I recently was able to, of course, create polls and let people know that things are on sale inside of the group. Facebook allows you to do so many things right there in the group to help engage your audience. And that is something that I want to wrap up with. Engagement in your group is critical. Establish a structure, whether it is certain days you're going to do specific things. And of course, if you want to use images for those days, it's very good as well. It catches the attention of the members. It keeps them connected. Members want ways in which they can grow themselves as individuals, but most importantly, ways in which they can generate income, because many people want extra income streams. So if you can incorporate a way that would allow people to grow their businesses while also you maintaining some boundaries inside of your group and restrictions, you will have a profitable and meaningful group. Now, when it comes to pricing, and pricing is definitely connected to your product. So if you do have a product and your group is just a support group, that's different. You already have a product with a price. But if your group is the main product, then you want to think about the value that you're offering for that group and what you're going to be bringing and providing for the customers inside of the group. So if you're providing live training and webinars and recorded group training, you can actually charge a pretty good amount for people to get access, whether it's a one-time fee an annual fee or a monthly fee. But it really depends on how much value you provide, how long you've been in that industry, whether there's so much to really look at when it comes to pricing, but you can have different options for people and make those options available, of course, let them know before they enter the group so that you're not struggling to get them to go back and to make a payment. Some people offer trial versions where they're inside the group for about 7 days or so. And then after that, they have to make a decision as to whether they want to stay. That can be a little troublesome as well, because then you have to go back to all those members who are on the trial and try to, let them know that they need to stay. If they want to stay, they got to pay this. And then it can become a little bit of a hassle. So you want to do something that's going to be a bit easier for you so you don't have to go back and follow up so many times. And in addition to engaging, I want to tell you that it's important for you to be available to support the members of your group. If a group and the members feel like the leaders and the organizers are so distant and they're not involved in any type of way in answering their questions, they're going to leave. And so it's going to become dead, and you don't want that to happen. So these are just some nuggets I wanted to share with you to wrap up this series on creating a meaningful and profitable group. I'm hoping, of course, you found it to be helpful. In the comments area, go ahead and let me know what you found to be helpful in this episode. If you like the content that was shared tonight, be sure to like this podcast episode as well. It should be a heart nearby, and it will highlight as yellow. So definitely like the podcast episode, leave a comment, and share this podcast itself with those in your network, with those maybe in your phone, in your contacts. We're trying to build up our listenership, and it's really important because we want to reach as many women as possible with our mission. And so I definitely appreciate you tuning in tonight. Remember also, again, about us having our live seminar. This is the first live seminar for 2017. And so you want to visit thecreateseminar.com to learn more. And I will highlight that we are having a BOGO flash sale. That means, of course, we're going to fill the room. So our goal is to fill the room. So we're going to have a flash sale, which means that tickets go on sale starting tonight at midnight. And the tickets will be $22.50 to attend the seminar, and then it goes back to regular price. It will not change again, okay, until the event. And remember, it's this month on the 29th, starting at 11 o'clock a.m., right? And it's occurring at the Indian River Large Conference Room. This is the Indian River Library in Chesapeake, Virginia. So again, stay tuned. The BOGO sale, flash sale, starts at midnight, and it will conclude on this coming Sunday, right? This coming Sunday at 11:59 p.m. So it's going to end at the very close of the night on Sunday. So again, I thank you so very much for those of you listening in, and all that you're going to do as you continue to be connected here to the podcast. Remember, with this podcast, we're empowering women like yourself to be able to create, relate, and elevate. Until then, have a great and safe weekend, and we'll be hopefully meeting you soon in Chesapeake. But of course, we'll be back here with a new podcast series on next week. Take care.